There we go. We should be live now. Hello, everyone. It is William here from UpViral. I hope you're all doing great. And today I am joined with Nina Franks from Thrive Market Leader, who is the founder and CEO of an excellent marketing agency that has great successes with UpViral. And this is actually the second case study that we do with Nina. The first one was, I remember, with Elixiri brand, right?
Correct.
Which was basically a campaign where, if I remember correctly, the customer asked you, Nina, to turn off the campaign because you were generating too many leads, right?
We did about 16,000 in 3 weeks organically, and they just said, pull the plug. We don't need any more. Just stop.
Yeah, exactly. And now Nina is joining us again because she has another amazing success. And it's actually one that I'm really, really excited about because it's the first one in this category. So essentially, Nina has been working, she will reveal all the details very soon, but she has been with her agency, has been serving a client, and they have helped the client rank their product as the #1 bestseller on Amazon worldwide. So she will be revealing all the secrets. So definitely stick with us, because we've got some great stuff coming your way. So first of all, Nina, thank you so much for joining us. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, William. Yeah, it's good to be back. And I had so much positive feedback from the first case study and been able to help so many people because of that. So I'm stoked really just to be sharing the story of how this happened. And hopefully it will inspire UpViral customers to take some of those things and apply it to their own campaigns.
Absolutely. So I will be sharing here. I actually want to see so that everyone can see it. The product that we're going to be talking about, which was a pre-launch campaign. And there we go. So sharing my screen as we speak. So you should all be able to see my screen now. And essentially, so bestsellers in astrology. She will share all the details now. But this was Yasmin was her client. So that is an epic achievement. And Nina is going to be sharing all the details with us right here, right now. So Nina, first of all, do you want to give us an introduction about Thrive Market Leader, about your agency, and then also about your customer, your client?
Absolutely. It all came about because I was a consultant in the industry of beauty, wellness, and lifestyle brands, luxury lifestyle brands. And I'd worked all over the world in 30 different countries as a consultant and interim CEO, interim CMO, and I'd launched some brands that are super famous now that are #1 in their category, in their niche the world over, like Glossybox and S-Bar and Elemis and various other brands. And I thought, really, how can I help more people, right? And so I set up the agency, and really I help brands that have a story to tell, right? So these are people that are building brands out of a passionate founder that has to, something that they want to bring to the world, that they want to help other people to live better lives. So it's all it's very storytelling based. We do a lot of direct work with our clients, directly connecting with their audience. And, we had some great successes. We look after a lot of passionate founders who are connecting with people around the world.
Excellent. Super. And then tell us more about this specific client of yours, Yolanda.
So
Yasmin, sorry.
Yasmin Boland is an Australian author, although she lives in the UK now. She is globally known. She created a concept called Moonology. And Moonology is a method of manifesting that works with the moon being like a cosmic timer, so that people can work every day to manifest and bring their projects, their wishes, their dreams to life using this method. So you could say it's a spiritual brand, but it's also a life coaching brand. And there's some astrology in there as well. It's a mix. And I would say it's predominantly a female audience, but not limited to only women. It's everybody. Everybody is able to connect with the kind of concepts that she teaches. So yeah, that's a little bit about Yasmin. Her publisher is Hay House, of course, one of the most well-known publishers in the world. And this book that she's holding, Moonology, has been on the Amazon best-selling list for something like 600 weeks. It's never been out of the bestsellers list for 600 weeks. And I think they sold something like 500,000 copies now. So it's a phenomenal success. And that was the very first book that she wrote. And then so from there, then this is when I joined her. She came to Thrive at this period just after the book launch. And then we started to work with her to build the brand and, make these connections all around the world.
Yeah. Great. I'm really excited about this one because it's actually the first case study interview that we do where it was focused on ranking a product high on the Amazon marketplace. So we have plenty of success stories and case studies where e-commerce businesses have generated a really good number of leads and sales, right? But it's all on their own like e-commerce website, right? Shopify.
Yes.
BigCommerce, you name it. But this is actually the first one that is focused on Amazon. So I'm really excited to dive into all the strategies that you used.
Excellent.
All right, Nina. And then what made you use UpViral for Yasmin and her pre-launch campaign?
It was the, let's say, perfect case study to use UpViral because at this stage of the development of the brand development, although Yasmin was known in a very, very niche market, she was more, people had bought a particular product of hers, which was a Moon Oracle card deck. People had bought that product or the Moonology book, but they didn't know her. So they knew Moonology, but they didn't know her. They didn't know that it was her product. So we noticed that across all social media sites, when you're watching YouTube or you're, on Pinterest or TikTok or wherever, a lot of card readers and life coaches and other people that work in that sort of field, let's say, they were using these cards and they were referencing material published in that book, but they weren't referencing Yasmin. So we thought at that point, what we need to do is find a way to reach all of these people and connect them with Yasmin, with the source, with the originator of Moonology, and bring them kind of in the community. So UpViral was the perfect solution, let's say, to that, because we had the visual and we had the kind of the tags, let's say, Moonology there. We needed a way for them to go, oh yeah, okay, Moonology, I know what that is. Sign up. And then the main prize, the giveaway prize, was a chance to actually meet Yasmin in person, which is a big thing because it's not something that she would do in any other way. And then also, refer to their followers, their friends, people that they know. A lot of them were in circles, spiritual circles or reading circles or community circles. And it was a way of them to say, hey, I'm going to share this because people need to know. And this was the original creator of Moonology.
Okay, great. So I understand then that she was already selling some products on Amazon, but there was no personal brand or no brand behind it. It was just on the marketplace and some people would buy her previous products, right?
Exactly. So it was just a book that had come out a number of years before and then nothing for a while. And then just as a test in the market, they launched this pack of Oracle cards as a follow-up to the book to kind of break down the concepts a little bit more. But they were quite disconnected. Nobody knew really who the author was. People were buying it, Hay House is a publisher. Obviously, they're well known. They've got developed channels. But we wanted to link those elements together and bring them back into, this is the mother, the creator of this concept, and who better to learn from than Yasmin herself. So at that time, we didn't have a list. We didn't have really anything. And so this was a perfect way to send out those signals, reach out to all those communities and connect them and bring them back to our list, into our community, and then start to do something with those leads, build a relationship.
Yeah. So at the start of the campaign, was the what was the main goal? Was it to create a personal brand for Yasmin? Was it to build an email list? Was it to the launch of her upcoming product and to rank as number one? Like, what was the main goal, I would say?
So let's go back 12 months prior or 18 months prior. She, through the publisher, published something called the Moonology Diary, which is a journal. It contains 365 days of knowledge and information and manifesting tricks and all sorts of things. And you know, people fill it in as they go along. And they weren't sure if the market was ready or if even there was a market for this because it had never been done before. So I think they had a really small production run, like, you know, 1,000 or 1,500 copies across the whole world. And so, you know, they sold some of those. And so this was the next step. It was, well, let's bring another one out for 2022. But let's, you know, you launch it early because they always launch journals and things about 6 months in advance. And let's just see like how it goes. So this is the first one where we had a proper sit down with the publisher and committed to a structured marketing plan using an integrated UpViral to, you know, to do the sort of the referral part of that. And we committed to a much bigger production run. So instead of it being small numbers, it was like, okay, we're going to commit to print like 20, 30,000 copies. But, you know, we need some kind of guarantee, some kind of risk management that they're not going to be sat on a shelf and, you know, nobody's going to know about them. So it was kind of go big or go home, really.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I always love that when you say, okay, let's print it, you know, and then we need to commit to generating those results because
Yeah.
you've already,
Exactly.
okay, put up the investment. All right. Excellent. And then, so now let's talk more about the campaign, right? Let's dive into the campaign. Tell us more, like you shared with me prior that it was a pre-launch campaign, but can you share with us all the details, you know, like from the landing page, the share page, what type of campaign, how it was structured? Yeah.
Yeah. This is like really full on and in detail campaign, and it was very managed. So we knew that the release date of the journal was going to be in the summer, in July. All right. And sometimes when Amazon has a publication coming out, it will feature on Amazon and you can pre-order it and then you wait for it to be released and delivered. Right. So we knew that. So we thought, well, let's not wait for the release before we start marketing it. Let's market it, like put the main emphasis on the pre-marketing, the pre-launch. And also because July, you know, it's kind of an odd time in the marketing calendar because a lot of people are away. So it's not particularly good time for that kind of category. So we actually started out in March, April, and essentially the structure was that we created, first of all, a kind of concept masterclass, you know, how to manifest your wishes and desires using the Moonology method. And we broke it down into 3 videos, right? There were 3 live Facebook masterclasses. So people had to register for this and go onto Facebook. And then as each video was released, like it was only up for a period of time, and then, you know, the next one would come along. So that was a way, like we used that really as a way to draw in a lot of traffic. And we were able to publish it on Yasmin's page and also on the Hay House page. Now, where do you send that traffic? And what we did is we built a landing page. And this was really a showcase, not only for the product itself, but we made it about the experience. We made it about see yourself on this page, see yourself. This is the UpViral landing page, so the actual web landing page. So at the time, if we put it into context at the time, this was very early 2021 when we were promoting it. So the pandemic was still happening. Most places were still in lockdown. People were very isolated and at home. And the news was very gloomy. Nobody really knew what was happening in the world or where the future was going. And there was a lot of anxiety around the world. So we really took that on board. And so what we did is we pulled out the content from this book, from this journal, and used it as a way to help people to connect, make connections and feel better and start to put some structure back into their life. Like, hey, you know, it's time to kind of plan for the future. It's time. I've got some projects I want to bring to life. Let me start to break that down and start to put a plan to how I'm going to manifest these things. What are the steps I need to do? So really, this was about, okay, 2021, you know, 2020 was like crazy. 2021 was a bit of a write-off. Now 2022, here's some good news. And this is the journal that's going to see you through the whole year. You know, we're going to help you to reconnect with the projects that you want to bring to life. We'll help you reconnect with the things you want to manifest, the things you want to improve, the things you want to work on, and also the things that you want to let go of. Because a lot of bad stuff happened in those years, and bad experiences that kind of left people with a lot of anxiety. So, you know, we want you to take those and find a way, use a method that will help you to release them, free up your mind, feel more energetic and move forwards. So we spoke about the product a lot without actually ever talking about the product, because we realized from the beginning this was all going to be about feelings. It was all going to be about how you make people feel. And the biggest things that we wanted to get across was, first of all, we want you to acknowledge what's happened and release it, and then move on. And this is the way you're going to use this resource, this tool, to help you move on from now and really, you know, start to bring things into manifestation in 2022.
Right. Okay. I think it was also, I mean, the timing was ideal, right? Because you described what people were going through, and then coming up with that campaign, with that product at that time, I think that was crucial as well. It was the perfect storm, as they say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that product was actually still being authored in 2020 and the early part of 2021. So it had only literally just been edited and completed just a few months beforehand, or, you know, literally around that time when we put the campaign together. So it was all done very quickly, under time pressure, resource pressure, budget pressure. So I don't want people to think that, you know, this had like an easy life, like there was a big marketing budget, a big advertising budget, and, you know, all of these global audiences and lists. There wasn't. There was pretty much nothing. We were really starting from scratch and building from there. So yeah, and we used literally every trick in the book.
Yeah. All right. And then so you had those Facebook videos. You mentioned 3 different videos on Facebook
Lives.
Facebook Lives, right? That were sending traffic to this page that we just saw, right?
Yeah.
And then,
so what we knew about that audience is that, first of all, they may not know about the page or the person, but they definitely knew about Moonology. They'd seen it on YouTube. They'd seen somebody using it, or their favorite reader use those, or somebody had gifted the cards to them. And so we made sure that, you know, that kind of hero had the Moonology in the cursive writing, and that Yasmin's face was on it, and that we literally put it out everywhere. And so whenever Yasmin does a live stream, like, people really connect with it. And so whenever she gives a call to action and will say in the live, you know, go to this page and do this, register here now, people will do it. People will take the actions. And so it was really important. She serves, you know, North American, a European, and kind of Asia, Australasia audience predominantly. So it was important that we did things on video, because they're all in different time zones, and everybody got a chance to watch those videos on the replay and take the actions. Yeah.
All right. So then you had those 3 Facebook lives that then they took traffic to this page where it basically says, yes, I'm ready to pre-order my Moonology Diary 2022, right? And then that call to action, where was that taking them?
So they had to go to the Amazon website, to the product page. They had to pre-order the book and go through the Amazon process. And then Amazon gives you like a reference number, transaction number. They would come back to the page and paste that number or upload a copy of their receipt or screen grab or whatever into that form before they submitted it.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. And is that then where the UpViral campaign comes into play?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So the usual opt-in form, name, email address, and then instead of giving them a call to action that they could go off and then kind of forget about and maybe not come back, they had to keep the form open, go off and pre-order the book, and then come back and add the transactions number for them to enter. They couldn't enter without that transaction number. So that's the way we did it. And you could say, okay, it's a little bit clunky, actually, and it would have been better just to, grab the name and email address and then follow up with them. But actually it worked, and it worked really well, and people were happy to do that. And if they had a problem, they can always reach out to support with just take a photo on their smartphone and send the receipt in later. So that drove a lot of pre-orders that way. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's definitely like uncommon, right? Because you have extra steps, right? But it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. So
yeah,
I just want to share my screen so that everyone can see that we can walk them through it. So start presentation. So essentially, to visualize the entire funnel, it was Facebook Live events, 3 different ones that were sending traffic to this long page, okay? That would basically ask them to, so that it was headline, Want a Better 2022, pre-order before August the 8th for your chance to win a personal one-to-one reading with internationally acclaimed award-winning astrologer and best-selling astrology author Yasmin Boland, and get access to her 2022 year ahead workshop when you buy the Moonology Diary 2022. So people would then click, yes, I'm ready to pre-order my Moonology Diary. And then that would essentially take them
so they would come here. Yeah.
It would take them to this. So it would take them to Amazon where they would pre-order, right? Then that would create the code that you've mentioned, the unique order ID.
Yeah.
And then they would come here, enter their name, their email address, and I guess this field was for the order ID, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's right.
And then they enter to win a grand prize, win a personal reading with Yasmin, a one-to-one personal reading. Okay. Excellent.
So the prizes were rare things. They weren't valuable, but they were priceless to the audience. So firstly, they got a one-to-one, 1-hour private coaching session with Yasmin, which is not something money can buy because it's not even anything that she does anymore. And then the runners-up prizes were that she did signed copies with a little message handwritten to 10 people. They would get the Moonology journal plus a copy of the cards. Yeah. And so the cards are really important. So yeah, exactly. So you see these 2 older products here. It's really important that we featured those because, like I said, this Moonology book is actually, and the cards are #1 bestsellers in Amazon in astrology. But nobody at that point, they'd just been put out, like randomly with quite a few years apart. And there was no kind of Yasmin Boland personal brand really that well known outside of, a very small community. So if we just go up a little bit to the cards, you see these cards here. So these are the best-selling Oracle card deck in the world. They weren't at the time, they are now, partly because of this UpViral campaign. And then once we knew that trick worked, we used it for all the other launches that we've done in subsequent years. So we knew that a lot of people were using these cards just to draw a daily card or for a little bit of inspiration, or, they put it on a mirror or something as an affirmation to do daily. And we knew that they'd sold a lot of them, or people had bought them as gifts for other people, but nobody really knew about the author. So we used a lot of this Moonology and also the image of the card and the image of the book when we were doing the social media marketing. And although social media content was predominantly, we tried to do reels and Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives, we also did a lot of, meme posts and kind of image posts using these particular products. And researched all of the hashtags that people had been using when they were posting, but not knowing Yasmin particularly. So we really figured out how to reach all those people that were already familiar with Moonology, but not familiar with this product and not familiar with Yasmin at all. And that was the most common thing we got from people is, oh, wow, I've been watching this reader on YouTube for years, and I had no idea that Yasmin Boland was the author of the cards that she was using. Or, somebody gave me the card deck years ago, and I had no idea it was Yasmin. Yeah.
All right. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. And then when they essentially got through the landing page to sign up for this campaign, they would come to. They would enter for a grand prize, and then they would basically land on this share page. So can you walk us through the share page?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not looking perfect because this was on the old editor, and it's not. So there's an emoji there, but it literally says smiling face with heart eyes on Facebook 4.0.
Oh, yeah.
That was just an emoji, and then user text goes here on the right, and there was obviously a message there before, but it doesn't show anymore because it's on a new editor now.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we weren't giving a lot of points, but there's a specific reason why we only added Facebook, WhatsApp, and Messenger. And that is one of the things that we realized about this particular community is that everything is very personal with them. So when they were sharing things, or when they were contacting us, or when they wanted to do anything, they would literally send a personal message, right? They would send an instant message via personal messenger, WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook, whatever. And so we realized that they're not really email people. They're not really people that are going, have a lot of followers on the big platforms, but they love to message each other within groups or on messenger platforms. And so that's why we predominantly led with messenger platforms. We also actually activated a ManyChat flow for this as well. So when the Facebook Lives were going on, and then subsequently, Yasmin would do ad hoc, just go on and do like a 3-minute live stream just to kind of, add a little pearl of wisdom or thoughts for the day or whatever it was, just little connection, making connections all the way through. And that would happen every day or every other day, just a couple of minutes, no background or anything, just go on and make a connection. And, she would say, we would give a keyword. All right. And if you wrote that keyword in the comment, it would fire a ManyChat automation and the flow would start, and the flow would also send them here and walk them through how to get engaged with the campaign.
Okay.
So one of the other ways that we were able to garner that FOMO feeling, because we very much wanted it to be, this is your opportunity to turn around your future and not, from where you are, right? All the stuff that's happened. And that is, I personally went back into the sales of the original journal and managed to connect with a couple of customers who had purchased the journal way back when that came out in 2000. All right. And I just, found out who still got a copy of their journal, right? And I got them to hold a journal and take a selfie and send it in to me. And we edited them. And I used that as user-generated content to reach out to other people that had maybe been familiar with that product, but also to get a really nice testimonial about how they'd used it and how it had positively impacted their lives as a result of, following the advice in the manual.
Yeah, so I want to share them on screen as well, so that everyone can see those user-generated content images. So it's basically those images, right? So
exactly.
And Nina, so when were these images, or where were these images used, and to send traffic to where exactly?
We use them on the landing page. We use them in emails to our email list. We use them in Facebook posts, Instagram posts, Pinterest posts, all sorts of places. And we also use them on the main website for Yasmin Boland. So we had like a full hero banner, and we put all of these in a grid under it, and we made a big thing of it. And I think there is an image there, if you can find it, of a grid section. There we go, from the website. So we've got some content from the journal, and then the user-generated testimonials, and then some more content.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So they were used throughout the campaign,
Throughout the
everywhere.
campaign.
Okay.
And I made sure that I only selected the people who were based in the geographical areas I knew where we had the strongest communities. So first of all, because Yasmin's Australian, from Australia and New Zealand, and then from the US and Canada, and then also from the English-speaking countries of Europe.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, great. Excellent. So then, Nina, you essentially mentioned that you started this campaign like around March, if I got that
Mhm,
correctly, but the release
mhm.
was not done until July, right? So can you
Yeah.
tell us more about like the basically the this timing of the campaign, any
Mm.
specific milestones throughout this 3-4 months, pretty much?
It's an exceptionally long campaign for a pre-launch, and
Mm-hmm.
if anyone has ever done a marketing campaign and is watching this, you will know that that's hard work, and you have to avoid campaign fatigue setting in. So we literally 7 days a week were creating, new images, new content, getting new testimonials, doing new user-generated content, and it was really hard work. Like, we did a lot of that, and essentially what happened was, with these traffic strategies, I've talked about uniting the community, right? The people that knew about Moonology but didn't know about Yasmin and everything else in the journal. But also it was about mentioning something you said earlier about, the time and the place that people were in during that time in 2021. It was the middle of winter in Europe, and it was, literally kind of in the thick of the pandemic,
Yeah.
and a lot of awful things were happening in the world, and everyone was personally affected. And this was a way to get behind something that was bigger than them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get behind this cause that was bigger than them, get behind this concept, this notion that, hey, we can turn around next year, we can have a better 2022, we can really, make some positive changes and start to get back on track and, get our lives back together. And I think that was a really thing that really fired people up, that really got people passionate, that got people feeling positive again, that they had this thing that they could all unite together. And all of them had completely different things that they wanted to, goals they
Yeah.
wanted to manifest, things they wanted to do. But in a way, it united everybody behind this bigger project, this bigger thing. And Yasmin was amazing because she's a natural in front of a camera. She, very personable, very approachable, and she connects really well with an audience, and she's a very natural speaker on camera. And we used that to full effect. We used it in a way she was literally, on her phone and on her laptop making, reels and just doing live streams without even any editing, just doing live streams all the time. And we would make, Facebook posts, which is where we built the community mainly on Facebook. So we would put out these posts that, were like making a statement or provocative, and we would get people to make comments on, does this relate to you, or tell us your story, or what happened to you. And the community got to know each other, which made them even more excited because they kind of built a relationship with each other on this page.
Yeah.
That they would never meet in real life, but also got behind this cause of this Moonology journal. Let's make it huge. Let's bring this knowledge to as many people as
Mm-hmm.
possible and help lift them out of where they are, and to have some hope about what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, yeah. Like we said earlier, perfect timing to do this sort of campaign. Yes, yes.
Indeed.
Sharing and spreading hope with everyone in
Yeah.
those tough times. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent. So essentially, because I'm personally, like, maybe some of the people that are listening are very familiar with Amazon in the terms of like how it works for sellers. I'm not as familiar. So essentially, does that mean that in March, so April, you already started doing the campaign to get people to pre-order the product that would be released in July?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
absolutely. We were getting people to place an order from as early as March, place your order now. And we kind of used a little trick, let's say, that was
Share it with
sort of
us.
a little
Yes.
bit smart, although not kind of, not totally above board. So, as I mentioned, the first journal that had come out quite some time beforehand, they'd done as a test, as a market run, just to trial the market, and they'd done a very small production run just to see how it would go. And because there was no stocks left in certain countries, like, you know, certain countries sold their allocation of stock, which was probably only very small anyway, you know, we could say actually it's sold out. So if you don't place a pre-order with this product, there is a chance it will sell out. And in those days, you know, the publisher wasn't considering doing a rerun, a reprint of that particular product, because to get a reprint done, a rerun of the production is quite a complicated thing that takes a long time, and there wouldn't have been time to do it. So we knew that we had this allocation that we wanted to sell as much as possible, but also we were kind of playing on the idea that, you know, the first run had sold out. Therefore, we want to make sure it doesn't sell out. You need this product. If you don't buy this product, then maybe there won't be any light of hope to carry you through to next year. It's something, the notion, you know, this concept that, hey, there's this huge group of people that I've connected with on this Facebook page with this amazing woman called Yasmin. And we've all got this one goal, this hope, this light that we want to change our world, our lives for the better next year. And this is going to help us go. And as we went along, you know, we united them on that theme. And as we went along, you know, the content that we used and the live streams that we did were all about building on that connection and building on that idea that, you know, do all of this now and get all this prep done and clear all of the energies away, and let's get ready to really build in 2022. And the other thing that we haven't spoken about yet, just kind of like the you know, the cherry on top of the cake, is this notion that we just came up with in a team meeting, and it was completely that we stumbled into it, and that was called Kickstart 2022. And so Yasmin would do like a 2-hour live masterclass, and as many people, you know, I mean, I think we had like 5,000 people there at one point live watching. She would do a live masterclass and literally teach people this whole concept of how to, this is it, she could literally teach you how to manifest anything you wanted, whether it's, you know, a house in Los Angeles or a car or a spouse, or, you know, a better job or more money or love or whatever it was that you wanted to bring, health. And so this was, we ended up calling this Kickstart, and then it became a thing every year. And so, but you could only gain entry if you had this product. It was only for people that owned this journal. So that was a really big thing. And we found that of all of the kind of post-launch, all of the bonuses that we offered, this is the one thing that people didn't want to miss. And this was the first time we did it. And since then, it's become a fixture on the calendar every year. You know, Yasmin Boland Kickstart in January. We've got to be there. It's the way we start our new year.
Yeah, exactly. Again, like really good timing, right? Like doing it in January. I'm sure if you do it in August or in April or in October, it's not as effective as with the start of the new year, when everyone is in that sort of like mood of like setting new year resolutions, wanting a new transformation, wanting to achieve their goals in the new year, right? So perfect timing again.
And the important thing is
live.
Yeah, the important thing is the format of the live, because, you know, many things that you see that are launched, you know, for January, new year, new you, new start, new beginnings, etc., is something that you do on your own. Again, it's in isolation. Whereas this event, the first part of the event was a masterclass, and then the second part was an open mic. So it was Q&A, and it was people, you know, coming, hey, how do I do this? Like, I've got this situation, you know, what do I do? And so the community advised, as well as Yasmin giving clear advice as well. And it just kind of drew that community even closer together. Yeah, it was a phenomenally successful formula.
Absolutely. Great. Glad to hear. And now, Nina, we would love to know because we haven't revealed yet the campaign results, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about tell us about the results from like as much as you have in terms of like people that watch the videos on Facebook, or leads generated through the campaign, orders on Amazon. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay. We're talking about big numbers here. And some of them are, it will take a little bit of guesswork, informed guesswork, educated guesswork, let's say. But on the day of the release, we did a launch party, a live launch party on Facebook, and we kind of kept it going. We did some shorter ones throughout the day, obviously for different location audiences, different time zones. And it just kind of was that excited thing, is that if Amazon did their job right, people would have received their product on that day, or some of them got it the day before. So a lot of people actually turned up for those live streams with the product, and it sort of made it like, it really elevated the atmosphere. Remind me to talk to you about the bonus area afterwards. I want to mention that and why the book was important. It went on the day of release, it went straight in at #1 on Amazon as a bestseller, and it stayed there for about 7 months, 6-7 months. And it without even dropping, it was just #1 bestseller on Amazon. And not only in the UK, but in Australia, in India, in the US, in Canada, in every country that product was published, it went to #1. And that was just phenomenally successful. And so then we had another Facebook Live to celebrate that. And we also did an Instagram Live to celebrate that as well. And that was, it was very kind of point of view. It was Yasmin, and she was actually away at the time with her family at Lac Le Mans, and they were on the shores of Lac Le Mans. And you had all the water, if anybody that's on the French-Swiss border, this beautiful clear water lake. And she just did a Facebook Live and an Instagram Live, and it just, the excitement of the day was amazing. And then although people might not know what this is, the book sold so many in the UK that it actually entered #5 of the Sunday Times bestsellers list, and we got a ranking, we got a listing in the Sunday Times bestsellers, who published on the 8th of August, so the week that it was released. So all in all, the results, I can't tell you the final figures, but I can say that we sold out the production run within about 48 hours of the book being released, the whole production run. Some countries could not get the book. The US was sold out. The UK was sold out. I'm not sure about Australia, but they completely sold out. So it was unprecedented. The publisher actually did another run of the books. We restocked them. It sold out again a second time, sold out before Christmas. And then it was the third restock that we carried on selling then. So obviously this product has a shelf life, right? You want to really, it starts in January and it finishes in December 2022. So you can't really sell it beyond January of 2022. But we'd sold out 2 full production runs, and we were on the 3rd production run. So I don't know what the final figures were, but tens of thousands, basically.
Tens of thousands of copies sold. Wow, that's amazing. That's epic.
But only 10 people in the world had a signed copy from Yasmin.
Yes, which makes it very exclusive, right? And it's actually like it's a very simple bonus, but extremely valuable to the right person.
Yeah, absolutely. And people really take this to heart, Yasmin is amazing at connection, and she really invests all her time in connecting with people one-to-one and in a group, and she'll be on Facebook Live a lot. And so people really feel that they know her personally. They feel that they have a personal connection with her. So to be in with a chance to have something that she's written, and she even shared, like photographs and little videos of her sat at her desk with the light on in the early hours of the morning, like trying to finish up the editing, before the deadline date. And so people really invested in this from the very start. And not only did they get the feeling of this movement, of this community where they wanted to achieve a brighter future and lift everybody up, as many people as they could, but they also wanted to help Yasmin on her quest to reach as many people as possible with this journal. Yeah.
All right, epic. It's amazing. Like multiple production lines, all sold out. US, UK sold out. That's epic.
Netherlands, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. I think actually Amazon New Zealand is Amazon Australia. I'm not sure. Wherever it was published.
Wow.
It was also published in other languages, but I don't know what the results of those were, because the license is taken by a publisher in a different country and published, using in a different language. So I don't know what the results of those were. So it could potentially be more.
And when it comes, Nina, to generating traffic for this campaign, was it all done via, it sounds like it was all done via Facebook Lives, but was that the case? Like all Facebook Lives on the page from Yasmin, and then sending traffic to the pre-order?
It was all organic. It was Instagram Live, Facebook, mainly Facebook Live, but some Instagram Live. I don't think we used TikTok then because we didn't have an account then. And then Pinterest. I did spend a small amount on Pinterest for the whole campaign for traffic. I think, I don't know, like I'm going to say $200 maximum I spent on Pinterest on traffic just to get the clicks. But nothing from anywhere else. So we were just using email from our list, opt-ins, Facebook Lives, and just, pushing out an insane amount of content that was very feeling led, very experience led, very kind of content that people could make a connection with. Yeah.
Okay. And so throughout this campaign that started in March, and then ended towards like July with the release. Now, like it's been a while since then, right? Because this campaign was in 2022, which was then repeated, I understand, right? In
the
other
campaign
years.
Was in 2021, actually.
2021, yes. And then it was also repeated in years after, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with all those leads that Yasmin is collecting?
Well, so all the leads that we collected during that time, obviously significant amount. We did two things. The first thing we did was we wanted to build a connection with them primarily. Okay, build a community. So we created a membership area called the Diary Owners Bonus Area. And not only did we give them a number of bonuses, such as guides and books and various other things that they could complete and discuss with the group. So there was a really inspirational word on one of the pages. So in order to access your bonus area, all you had to do was, when you went to the login, what's your name, and then the password is page, 49, line 5, paragraph 2 or something, and you had to put the word in. It was like a little bit of gamification, which was really cool. And then we added to that throughout the year. So somebody that had that experience, that brand experience when they purchased it, and the excitement of the campaign itself, continued to benefit from that, because and it's still available now. Whenever you buy one of those journals, it's not just for the year, it's really for life, because there's lots of advice in there and techniques, and so you can still go to the Diary Owners bonus page and put in this password, and it'll open up, and every year we add more things to it.
Okay.
Some are relevant to that time period and some are evergreen, and you can use over and over again. Yeah.
And I imagine sorry, go ahead.
And then obviously we used it to generate interest for Kickstart for this live masterclass that happened in January. And that served two purposes. Number one, to sort of reconnect with that community and get that feeling back again, and get everybody on board with this, we're going to make a difference. And then number two, in that meantime, we had built a membership site for Yasmin, and a premium memberships as a paid membership. And we pitched the membership during the Kickstart and then during the post-launch, and, got a lot of new members sign up as a result of that campaign. So it was fully monetized. And at the time also, around that time, I'd also created another product for Yasmin called Written in the Stars, which was a workshop for rising signs, and we ran it every month. And when that campaign really kicked off, we went from selling 150, 200 tickets a month for that event to selling 500 or more tickets. And that was a $20, $25 ticket event. And we were selling that every month as a result of that. So it really impacted the business that way. That was just a one-off thing. But then a lot of people made the leap from being a product customer to being a member and active part of the community from there onwards. And many of them are still members.
It's amazing that basically, like, as you were talking, right, and talking about the membership sites and the workshop and the live events, and I was thinking at the beginning of this call, we were talking about Yasmin, someone that had some products that were selling really well on Amazon, but they didn't know her. Like they didn't know her as a person, as a brand. They didn't know who she was. A lot of people knew about the product that they bought
Yeah.
on Amazon, but it's
Yeah.
faceless, right? There is no branding. It's Amazon. It's a marketplace. And the whole journey of working with you, with Thrive Market Leader, with UpViral, it has been transformational for her to collect email addresses from Amazon orders, where, because I hear that oftentimes, right, when you speak with people who sell products on Amazon, they say you rely on the platform, you don't collect the email addresses, you don't really build a brand. And you've really mastered the, yes, you do really well on Amazon, but at the same time, you're building a solid brand. And now she has like a membership site. She has workshops that she does. She has a huge email list, creates new products. And now everything that becomes easier in her business. Even if she wants to release a new product on Amazon, it will be way easier to make it rank #1 because she has a huge email list that supports that.
We've generated more than 1 million opt-ins, since that date. And she's got thousands of people in her membership, the Moonology membership, mainly Moonology. And, she's really grown from there. She's one of the best-selling authors in the whole of Hay House now. At the time, it put her as to the best-selling author in Hay House. And at the time, she was someone that just had, written a book that really was in her heart, and she wanted to put everything into that, and produced from that, taken, some of the concepts and created an oracle card so that they were in sort of little sound bites and easier to digest. But there was no pipeline of products. There was no new product development. There was nothing. It was just these two things. And now she's a bona fide, pretty much she's a superstar. She's managed to impact so many millions of people around the world. And she speaks all around the world now, and she's got this structured pipeline of products that she's rolling out. And, we do probably 4 major new launches a year, plus lots of mini launches, like mini campaigns to do, like masterclasses and talks and new books and things like that. So she's, like a full enterprise, global enterprise now. Whereas at that point, it was just Yasmin and me sat on her sofa in her house in London with a coffee and some notebooks.
Brainstorming ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, epic. This is more than an UpViral case study. I feel this is a business case study.
Yeah, it is. A masterclass in just like use all of your knowledge to transform this situation and basically build a global enterprise brand. Yeah,
absolutely.
Phenomenal.
Excellent. So I want to ask you a question, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's even almost embarrassing for me to ask it. Is there anything that you would have done differently in this campaign that you think would have been better if you did it in a different way? I typically always ask this question, but now, like with this success story, I'm like, does this question even make sense? But I will ask it anyways.
In those days, obviously, UpViral platform wasn't the same as it is now. It's now, like it has AI and all sorts of things. So, if I was doing that campaign today, in this era, I would use a lot more integration on the back end. I would use the universal opt-in. I would do all of, in terms of the coding, I would do a lot more integration on the back end so that people didn't have to opt in here and then opt in there and then do all of this. It would much more from the user experience, it would be much smoother, if you know what I mean. But in terms of the campaign and how we used UpViral and everything else, I think it was just a masterclass in, direct marketing. I really do. Perhaps there was, it was me, basically. It was me, my graphic designer, and then we had a guy looking after like the sort of email platform, and that was it, right? It's not like we had like a massive team. I would probably we didn't have the time to do it because we're crazy busy making content 24 hours a day. But if I had the resources, I would have liked to have done more on email, particularly once somebody had opted in using UpViral, more on the follow-up to keep the excitement going. That, was kind of picked up in terms of the Facebook Lives, that fulfilled that kind of
Yeah.
keeping it going, right? But I would have liked to have engaged more on email, so to have integrated it. And they use active campaigns, so just to send out more prompts like, hey, you're here, you've got this number of points, you're only one referral away from getting a personally signed copy of this amazing prize, and just to keep that kind of energy going, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, we obviously did the in-house UpViral, the kind of in-system UpViral emails, right? But they're more transactional. But I would have done more of the kind of personal connection type emails, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So see, even something that you can think of that could have been better. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. And in terms of on the flip side, on the positive side, are there any like main lessons for you that you learned through this campaign that you take away as main takeaways or lessons for you?
I think, when it's really important, and this really emphasized that point and brought it home, is that when you look at a product that you've got, or, and you want to, let's face it, people create products because they want to make sales. So really the goal is sales, but you have to think beyond that goal, because everybody is trying to sell something, right? And you've got to find some way of cutting through that. And, okay, a lot of people rely on Facebook ads and this and that and the other, but you've got to think a way of going beyond that and making a connection with the person and actually bringing that product to life in their life, right? How are they going to use that? How is it going to impact their life? I'm not talking features and benefits. That's a bit clinical. Like, be real with it. And so it really brought home that the hunch of really looking at the macro environment, what was going on in the world at that time, what was happening in politics, what was generally like, people's morale, like, what was happening with people. I mean, everybody was united at that time because we were all suffering from this same crisis. But, every product that comes out, why did you develop it? And look at how you can use it to uplift, inspire, connect, and make someone's world better, not only theirs, but when you lift somebody up, it impacts the people around them, which impacts the community, which impacts even more. It's those ripples, right? So think about UpViral as a way to amplify those ripples of impact, of positive impact, and don't think about it in a clinical way of, oh, I've got to drive these transactions, get opt-ins, and how many opt-ins can I get to convert immediately to a sale? And I've got clients like that who are all they think about is the sales, and they judge every single day, and we didn't make enough sales today, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to go beyond that, because people are not interested in that. They are interested in the connection they have with you and how you make them feel when they see your posts, when they go to your lives, and they see the effort that you're putting in to bring your product to life. It inspires them to get on board with it, and that might tip it in the balance in your favor. Instead of opting in and maybe not doing any referrals or just doing a share on Facebook, they'll literally get invested in the campaign, and they'll see that they want to be part of something bigger. Everybody's getting together to help this person like achieve this thing, and make it personal. Be the person that does the content, be the person that does the reels, does the TikToks, does the shorts, does the Facebook lives, and don't edit it. People want to see authenticity, realness, emotions. They want to see the highs, the lows. They want to peek behind the scenes. It doesn't matter if it's messy. They want to know what's going on. How did you create this thing from scratch? Why did you do it? And what do you hope? So I think those emotions, how you make them feel, is far more important and far more effective than we've got better features and benefits than this other product, and here's 10% off or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
also what's interesting is the green part of it. Although sustainability and kind of like, let's say, the green agenda is very much in the news and in the media, when it comes down to products, You know, you can't rely on, you know, we're organic, we're bio, we use this, we use that, because that's kind of almost expected. Customers will almost expect that you would do that as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to not do that. So you've got to
Mm-hmm.
think beyond, yeah, it's a great formula, but it doesn't really land with the customer. You know, it's got some great, whatever it is that you're selling, right? You've got to bring it beyond that and bring the product to life in the person's life. And UpViral is a great way to do that. So try to be as creative as possible when using UpViral, and don't be so formulaic. Bend the rules, break the rules a little bit, and be as creative as possible. And I think even if a campaign has extra steps in it that make it a little bit clunky, people will do it because you've connected with them beyond the product, and they're inspired to help you achieve your goals.
Have them join the movement. That is a huge lesson. Like, too focused on
Join the
oftentimes on
movement. Yeah.
ROI, you know,
Yeah.
KPIs, cost per click, cost per lead, cost per acquisition, but there is
They
so much
feel
more
it.
that goes
Yeah.
beyond it.
They feel it. They feel that, you know, the analysis, and they don't like it. They want connection.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see you, you know, in your less than perfect camera clothes. They want to see you, you know, in the morning, like, God, you know, I've got so much to do today, and let's take you into the office and let me show you around. And, you know, they love seeing the warehouse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this story. I don't know if I told it before, but it's when I led Glossybox from being a kitchen table brand to being the #1 premium beauty subscription box per month. It's the #1 in every country in the world that it operates in. And they were putting out all of this perfect content, fashion content, music, perfect beauty content, professionally shot with photographers and all the rest of it. One day, one of the marketing assistants at the time, Lily Pebbles, who's now a famous YouTube influencer, brought her camera in. And she was already vlogging at that time, let's say. She did a behind the scenes in our tiny office in North Audley Street in London. And she brought her camera in, and she was showing people, like, in our tiny kitchen, like microwaving their lunch. And we went into the meeting room, and we were having one of our raucous meetings, and there was like packing chips everywhere, and you know, into the desks while everyone's on the phones. And it went on YouTube and on the website, but it actually got more views and more reach, like way more views and way more reach, millions and millions, than any of the really amazing creative that we'd put out as a branded company. And you know, it really, people absolutely loved it. And I think that video that Lily did, that was the moment when the lights went on for me. That was in 2012, and I was like, wow, you know, wow, that people really, really love that. They really connect with that. And I think that's started to bring it into the marketing.
Absolutely. So something that is really taking off right now, and not related to UpViral right now, but it is on social media. What is right now like taking off like crazy is when people create, and it goes in line with what we're discussing, join the movement. When they create some sort of challenges for themselves, and they create a profile on social media where they make it all about the challenge they want to reach, and you can follow the journey, right? So for example, Russell Brunson is right now writing a new book, right? And he wants to make it the #1 bestseller, right? And then he has an Instagram profile, and he's currently in the trenches writing the book. But you can go and watch his content, right, on how he's creating the book, and how he goes from just an idea about writing a book to a New York Times bestseller. Or you see it all the time, like people, like, they want to start a new business, and they say, okay, this year I'm going to start a new business, and by the end of the year, I want this business to be at 1 million in revenue, right? So in this social media profile, I'm going to be documenting my journey, the highs, the lows. Every day you're going to see a video with an update, right? And you see these profiles, or people in losing weight, right? They say, I want to lose 20 kilos, you know, or I'm not sure how much that is in pounds, but I want to lose 20 kilos, right? And I'm going to be working out and doing my diet, and if you want, you can follow me, right? And I see this a lot, and this is taking off right now like crazy, and it goes very much in line with what we're saying about making it about the movement.
It's very powerful. It's powerful because people can see actually where you're starting is like, they can start there, and they can do what you're doing. But also people that are already on that journey and maybe kind of faltering a little bit can get back on track with it, or Just
Mm-hmm.
just the knowledge that somebody in the world has just gone, I want to start here and achieve this massive goal. And, I'm just calling out to people, give me your support, give me a hand, just
Yeah.
show up, just write, yeah, great news in the comments, and it'll inspire me to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And for people to be achieving those huge goals just
Yeah.
based on willpower and bringing in that, like you say, join the movement, let's get there together, that it's possible. The fact that it's possible gives hope to so many people that it's possible to turn your life around or to achieve these amazing things that you want to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Great.
inspiring. I love it.
Yeah. So, Nina, taking it back to UpViral, I would like to ask you a question. You've been using UpViral for multiple years with lots of different clients that you've been working with. So, in a few words, like, what are your thoughts, or what would you say about UpViral?
I have found UpViral to be a really essential tool. In the beginning, I just used it like, instead of a landing page and an opt-in form, I'll just get an opt-in on UpViral because you have the share page and that will help with viral sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the vanilla version. But actually, the more creative that you get with UpViral, and I know that I'm speaking with the team now, your chief product officer, because we're doing a more complicated integration for a client at the moment. And it's actually a really powerful tool because it cuts down on a lot of work for you. So don't think of it as UpViral is a tool in my marketing bag that I can use to generate opt-ins and then just keep emailing them until they buy. Actually think of it more as a part of your integrated business, a way to bring the community together, a way to even discover what people value most in your, do they value this or do they value that? Like, what are they really interested in? There's so many ways that you can use UpViral now that I didn't use it that way before, years ago when I first had it. I think I've had it viral for 7 years now, and I've used it for myself and for clients and huge clients and very small clients. And I think the more creative way that you use it, the better. And if you take the time to learn the little complicated bits where you integrate it with your CRM and you kind of capture the data and you do the emails and everything, and also use it in a way that is congruent with the rest of your campaign, like literally use it the same, like the hero image, use lots of user generated content on it, get people to come back to the page. I think that it really helps, first of all, to increase your reach. And the more reach that you get, that's going to help with future conversions, current conversions, growing your following, growing your brand. It's going to open a door for people to refer others. There's a bit of it related with getting somebody to share something, share this code with your friends and family and they'll get X and you'll get X. There's a bit of ick associated with that. So I think with UpViral, the way to do it, because people do love to share, but you've got to give them a bigger reason. So if you give them a bigger reason to get excited and share, and one of the bigger reasons we've just spoken about, join the movement, help us to achieve this, is actually more powerful than giving somebody a code to share, because then they'll get something at the end of it as well. Although people like recognition, they like to be seen and heard and understood. So that's important in terms of the way you structure your campaign, but give them a better reason to be excited about sharing what they're doing and the kind of the campaign, the movement, the community that they've just signed up for.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nina. And then my final question for you is, if people want to connect with you, like where can they go? You have a website. How can people connect?
I'm just redeveloping as well. It's thrivemarketleader.com, and all the socials are the same, thrivemarketleader.com. And if you go on the site, there's also a WhatsApp that you can shoot me. So, or go ahead and schedule in a discovery meeting using my calendar link, and we can meet that way.
Super. Nina, I want to thank you from the entire UpViral team and the entire UpViral community, because this is actually like the first case study that we have related to an Amazon product. and it was a huge success. And I'm really glad and grateful that you made UpViral part of that campaign and that you shared your wisdom on this call. So thank you so much. It's been great to have you, and we look forward to having you for the third time with another successful campaign that you do in the future.
Amazing, amazing. I'm working on one now, and I just know it's going to be a good one.
You're going to blow
Fantastic.
it out
Thank
of
you,
the
William.
water again.
Thanks, everybody at UpViral. You're an amazing community. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nina. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Excellent.